YouTube, top 16, full top 16, plus the top 8 and grand finale in another video, plus the top deck list by watching as long as you can, commenting, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. I greatly appreciate it. That is why we keep on doing what we doing. With that said, Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
We have quickly launching a Rocket Tracer from the deck going into Striker Dragon. Now, I talked about this a lot, but should you imperm the Striker Dragon? I do not like imperming here if they have an active normal summon, because if they have another way to special summon, they're going to be able to make Romulus search for Rocket Tracer, normal summon the Rocket Tracer. But in this instance, it looks like it would actually work out, because by imperming this, he does not have another play, and then the Striker Dragon will pop itself, add the Tracer, then reborn it from the hand with the Bootector launch we're searching for. So, okay, not negating, but we could just imperm the Tracer trying to pop the field spell. Once we see that he's making this desperate play, this reeks of desperation. It's so desperate, we did not even make any further play. We want the Delta and Gamma to be activatable. Let's go. Because what we're going to do here, Rocket Tracer, pop the field spell, go into a Chaos Ruler. Maybe it's Destiny also feeling out delays. You could see that they have something. They have some form of disruption unless they hit it. All right, reinforce the army, grabbing a Rykart for the deck, on summon, searching our deck for a Scareclaw spell or trap. We have a rival which could reborn the Scareclaw from the graveyard, making the Light Heart. Are we negating with the Psyframe Gear Gamma? We are not. We're not even max seeing. What are we doing? We can max see if he ashes. We can negate it with the Psyframe Gear Gamma. We are now going to max see in response to the Vsauce Star Frost attempting to summon itself onto the field by popping the Light Heart. We're going to ash negate, Psyframe Gear Gamma, negate the negate, Call by the Grave, negate the max C, mate. I do not think so. Now, Vsauce popping the Light Heart will make it so the Light Heart can reborn itself back in the field, and we could use the Arrival to reborn the Rykart. Rykart and Vsauce can make a level 10 Synchro. We are cooking, and Maxi almost cooked us. This is it. Pop in the Light Heart come forth and summon. Arrival, get arriving. We're done. We're done. I cannot believe I had the out for the out, but you had another out for the Max C. Damn. Boot sector launch right away, launching our Rocket Tracer onto the field, freeing up our normal summon. We're going to be making our Chaos Ruler as we speed this up, mill the top 5 cards of our deck, add a light or dark among these 5. Rocket Synchron, reborning our Chaos Ruler to make our Hot Red Dragon Archfiend negate any card on the field. According to Konami's data, is an 80% chance, 79.7% chance to win the duel when it's summoned. So we have an 80% win chance with maybe it's Destiny summoning that turn 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. Is this useless data or what? You tell me if you like this. Now, let's go. Right card on summon will trigger the regain, but we did not use the regain. We're going to max C now. Do we not have a Bestial in the graveyard? We do. Call by the Grave on that Max C. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend will be negating that Call by the Grave. Our Max C will be going through. All right, are you ready? I do think the Empin stats is basically when Fluunderies doesn't brick, it's a very good deck, which we all knew that. Stealing the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, come to me. Now, a question some of you should be having is, if a monster activates, it's hard once per turn or soft once per turn, then I take control of it, can I activate it again? Well, if it's a hard once per turn, you, the player, is the only one that can activate it once. Since you already activated it once, I could also activate it once by taking control of it. If it were a soft once per turn, then it is tied to the card, not to the player. Thus, it being a hard once per turn, we were both able to activate its effect to negate. We got the Peaceful Planet grabbing the Vsauce Starfrost, which will pop a monster we control. Baldrake is going to be banishing from the graveyard, getting ready for a play. Meek is special summoning because we control the Rykart. And being under Max C, how much do we want to cook? Baron de Fleur is here, now 4 cards in the hand. Baldrake is going to be tributing the Dark, attempting to banish the Baron de Fleur. We're also going to be using the Branded Beast to tribute our Baldrake to pop the Baron de Fleur, negating itself from being banished. Now, the Hot Red has a special effect. We could reborn a tuner from the graveyard after inflicting battle damage, which we should have a Meek. We're going to use the Reinhardt to pop the Reinhardt to search our deck for a Monadium card, as the Ash will now negate it. I do not think so. With the Hot Red summoning a tuner from the graveyard, what could we really do? We would have been able to... we have lethal damage here, I think. Is this lethal? If not lethal, I think we screwed up. Possibly. Wait, Astrolaud's activating to pop a card, a monster we control. So I was thinking we Hot Red, swing, summon a tuner, cross sheep, summon Astrolaud, reborn the tuner, and then make a level 10 synchro, unless we could perform lethal damage right here. Ghost Ogre is not negating, but destroying the vicious Astrolaud from destroying the Reinhardt. Does this activate when reborns it? What was that? What were we even doing? Huh? Reinhardt searching for the arrival. Reinhardt being a dark, meaning it will be banished by the Bestial as we attempt to reborn it with our arrival. We could search for a Vsauce here, which is very good. Vsauce can pop the Lightheart. Lightheart could then reborn from the graveyard if we control a Vsauce. Do we banish the Lightheart? No, I think maybe we wait with the arrival. Using the Obsidian to pop the Lightheart, you could banish the Obsidian to special summon a Reinhardt from the hand. We're using the field spell to grab a Meek special summon because we control a Vsauce. And this is, as I said, this is when you Bestial. Bestial banishing the Reinhardt from the grave. We have Meek and Vsauce in the field. Both are tuners, so we're not going to be able to make any plays with them. So use the Reinhardt to pop the Meek, which will trigger the Meek, which you want to chain link block with the field spell so it does not get ashed. It's going to summon 2 balls on the field plus the Reinhardt searching for a Monadium. Let's go, let's go. Level 4 tuner ball, level 2 tuner ball, level 6 tuner Starfrost, and our only non-tuner is the Reinhardt. This is where generally you would make an Excel Stardust Synchro, which I believe we're doing here. And because the Dissipator requires a Dragon non-tuner, this is how you summon Dissipator. Dissipator is here. Dissipator will be able to summon a banished monster onto the field, which will be the Reinhardt. Now, Reinhardt and the Vsauce, it's good to summon a Baron to floor, but also good to summon a Chaos Angel because that is light and dark, giving you the full battle destruction protection and unaffected from monster effects. We're gonna use Baron to floor to pop the Meek. Meek will then summon from the deck as a level 4 tuner. I guess we did that just to thin out the deck. Now, what is our disruption here? We have Omni negate with the Baron to floor. We have Reframing, which will negate anything. We have Dissipator, which will destroy the activation of a monster, not negate it unless you return a banished card from the opponent's banished pile, which there are none. We also have double Ash. Ash will just be 1 negate. It's got 4 disruption. Quick launch, negate with the Ash, only 3 disruption left. Let's get ready. The Dissipator destruction effect is just not so good. It's kind of like a Ghost Ogre, which we saw earlier. Chaos Angel. You really want to negate this card with Reframing or Baron to floor. You can't negate it with Baron to floor if it's unaffected because you used a light monster, but Reframing is perfect for negating it, but we can't negate it. Why can't we negate it with Reframing? Because we're chain link blocking it. What? I thought we were. Oops. I think we messed up that order. Wait, you had Reframing to negate, and then you Baron to floor it, and it's unaffected, mate. It's a no. Okay, series of unfortunate events. All right, and now Reframing's not activatable. You need a Synchro monster. Huh. Yeah, so we messed up the chain link block, and then we messed up the negate, but, you know, all's well, hopefully. Let's see what happens here. Collapse Serpent will be searching for the Wild Reverser, grabbing the Boot Sector launch, banishing and come forth and summon, making the Romulus, grabbing from our deck our Dragon Ravine, Collapse Serpent to the hand here. Ravine will discard that Collapse Serpent as we do not need it anymore, getting an Absol into the graveyard. We already used up our normal summon, but we got the Boot Sector launch. We're going to banish with the Levineer. Levineer is going to return the card in hand back in the deck. Boot Sector launching the Tracer, popping the field spell, summoning a level 4 non-tuner, making the Chaos Ruler. Isn't it so annoying to play against Dragon Ruler when you know they have lethal and they're taking 20 minutes to beat you? Milling 4 cards off the top of the deck, adding the Absol, on summon, discard the Absol, spin a card in the field back in the deck. And now we could finally, after going to the bathroom, coming back, see that we are finally getting lethal damaged. Thank you to both players. I appreciate you. All is well. Let's hop into another match. Lubellion, you do want to hold on to that Ash. Do not let Lubellion eat your Ash. Fusion Deployment is a really good way to play around Effect Veiler and Impermanence, summoning a Cartesia from the deck here. We're going to Fusion Summon going into the Gangrenol. And it plays around Imperm and Veiler by protecting your Aluber and your fusions off of Branded Fusion, because you'll chain fuse to it. Obviously, we're not making that play. We're sending a Branded Fusion from the deck to the graveyard, and then we're going to be using the Albion to send a Retribution to then add the Branded Fusion in the grave to the hand. But seeing that that is going to be your play, we're going to use our Bestial Serenir to banish your Albion before you make that play. Thus, you're now going to have to rely on your opening Fusion Duplication to set and copy the Branded Fusion during the next turn. Let's go. Gangrenol being triggered to summon a Guiding Quem from the deck. Damn, Gangrenol just got way better with Quem. Being able to summon the Quem, and then we still, like, holy moly, like, what the heck? We're not even gonna have to do the Fusion Duplication. Quem, send Retribution, add the Branded Fusion anyway. And, you know, I guess we should have saw that coming, right? We should have known that he's making the Gangrenol, my Serenir will trigger it, and oh boy, this is something. Grab that Branded Fusion, but we do have Ash. So we will be using the Fusion Duplication to copy the Branded Fusion. Let's go. And the Brandon White is not going to be able to be activatable. We don't have an Albaz in the graveyard. We're going to end phase Druid Swarm banish. Should we have waited with that, actually? Druid Swarm, banish the Albion, the Albaz that we're sending from the deck to the graveyard would be a good play if they were not making the Lubellion. If they make it the Albion Dragon, that is when you would want to banish the Albaz. He does have a Call by the Grave, which again, Call by the Grave does not counter Branded Fusion if you make a Lubellion. So let's see what happens here. Are we going to Called by onto that Maxi? Yes, we are. So we're not going to have to even worry about Albaz being banished here, and we could do whatever we want with that duplication. Target Branded Fusion, and then apply the spell's effect. When do we do it, though? This is going to be quite interesting. We're doing it right here, right now, because this could potentially be a Baron to floor as he then follows up and makes more plays. So right now, copy that Branded Fusion, sending Albaz and Nibiru for the Albion. Thus, the Albion would have been countered by a Bestial or a Called by the Grave. We summoned the Druid Swarm early, so we can't banish the Albaz. Thus, he's got a better play. Albion chaining the Quem because a card was moved from the extra deck. We're going to be reborning the Albaz. And then we are going to be using the Quem and Nibiru to make a Masquerade. Now, Albaz on summon will be able to discard a card to fuse with the opponent's field. Unfortunately, we can't go into Lubellion into a Mirror Jade because we do not have a card to discard, but we have Borreload, which will be able to pop a monster we control plus a card on the field. So be ready for that. Burning for 600 on every card effect activation. Druid Swarm sending the Borreload, forcing its activation here. Serenir also sending a Branded Spell or Trap or Lubellion from the deck to the graveyard. Borreload will be popping itself plus the Romulus, which will make it more difficult to make an Access Code Talker or even a Pisty. Come to us, Ravine. We still have our normal summon. We're going to normal summon, link off in a Striker Dragon, grab Boot Sector Launch. Boot Sector Launch will then special summon from the graveyard. We don't even have to pop ourselves because they have two bodies. Normally, you Striker Dragon, pop yourself, add back the Tracer, then summon the Tracer. But here we don't have to do that. We keep on burning. At 3,800 life points, every activation that Masquerade is burning. We have Borreload Savage Dragon on summon activating, burning another 600 to now make it so we can negate. Now, it's a continuous effect, so we cannot negate the burn, but we can take it out by battle, and then it can reborn itself from the graveyard, but it no longer burns. We're going to be popping ourselves, adding the Recharger, triggering the Recharger off of our monster being destroyed to then summon a Serenir from the graveyard, send to the graveyard for our Lubellion. Lubellion will set up a Regained or a Branded Beast. Setting up that Regained, we are going to be triggering the Regained off of the summon of the Masquerade, summoning our Serenir. And then the Regain will be activatable again during the next turn. Using Borreload, because it is a soft once per turn, I should say hard once per turn, you're going to negate the Brandon White from being able to add this card back, and then we're going to be able to negate again during the next turn. So it was a free negate since we have multiple negates. And Regain's a hard once per turn also. So using the Masquerade right then and there, potentially not a good idea, as the regain will be able to activate again. Tributing for Lubellion, being able to regain again. Come forth and summon from the graveyard our Druid Swarm. And Borreload can negate the activation but does not destroy. Now, Borreload gets completely countered by the Branded Lost, protecting your fusion effects from their activations being negated. Albion Branded Dragon is going to not be able to set up a card like Branded Banishment. And that's it. The Borreload no longer has a negate. We have Quick Launch off the top of the deck, which will give us an easy level 10 Synchro if we want to. Popping the Romulus, locking us into Dark Monsters from the extra deck only, as we now have Striker Dragon, but we already added our Boot Sector launch on a previous turn. We do not play another, making the Chaos Angel on summon, banishing the Masquerade, triggering the Druid Swarm, sending the Lubellion, opening up the field for lethal damage. How many times did we summon? He does have Nibiru in the hand, returning a banished card back in the deck. It just like that, 10,000 damage. Dragonling taking a game 1 victory. Huh? Oh my gosh. Setting Mercurier, we just had no play whatsoever. Albaz no good. It's good for going second. Tragedy needs to be banished or sent to the graveyard by card effect. So it's not like you could normal summon Tragedy, then Almirage to trigger its effect, and then what would we even search for? Mercurier's only good if we have an Albaz fusion on the field to then negate. The Branded Lost does nothing on its own. Just damn. That is, and then we have no disruption. No hand traps, nothing. It's not like we even brick turn 1 with Maxi and Ash in our hand. Oh my gosh. What an unfortunate game 2 duel deciding the match, April. I am very sorry that happened. That sucks. We are staking our soul, which, do we Ash this? Well, based off what we revealed, we're going to reveal an Ash. Do we Ash this? It is high risk, high reward. Let's go. And boy, do we get rewarded, as there is no reason nor another way to add it from the deck to the hand. And, I think Vanquish Soul is very similar to Fluandries, where if they don't have Robin, they don't have Raisin, the deck's no good. We're going to reveal 2, burn, come forth and summon the Borger. Borger could reveal Borger to draw a card here. So at least we could draw a card every turn. We just drew into a max freaking C. Albion sending Retribution. Now we really want to get a Branded Fusion in the graveyard by sending the Serenir. Serenir will send the Branded Fusion, and then we get added. But then we're holding that Ash that we revealed. You know I have Ash. I showed you my Ash. Negate. That's okay, because I have Triple Tactics talent. I could thrust for a Fusion Duplication if I wanted to set a card really badly, or we could try to make plays here. We are drawing 2. Let's see what we draw into. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what this card does because I didn't think anyone would be playing it. Bestial Alibur. It states that if this card is summoned, you could discard a card and then do something, which we chose to not do. So it's doing nothing? Huh? Maxi. Well, it is considered to be a Fallen Albaz, which is making it so the Cartesia could special summon, so it is doing something. Ash is going to negate that Maxi. I do not think so, and I'm still wondering what we're doing with that thrust. What do we thrust into our hand or set? Cartesia activating a few. Okay, the Bestial Alibur being additional copies of the Albaz definitely did something. Is it considered an Albaz in the graveyard, though? I don't think so. This card, wait, it is in the graveyard also, so that's it's like playing 4 copies of Albaz. Sure. Big enough to take out that Borger, 2,500 to the face, and now we're going to be setting up a duplication, right? Exactly what I said. A lot of you could have been thinking not using the thrust while he had a monster in the field would have been a misplay if he wanted to add the card to the hand, but he did not. He wanted to use that duplication during the next turn to copy the Branded Fusion. Very well done. And we are activating the Titanclad to summon a Quem. Quem is going to be sending an Albaz, as we also set up a Branded in red for a potential Chimera play to pop cards on the field and draw. Drawing into a Zodiac Barrage with our Vanquish Soul deck. I believe that is the best way to play Vanquish Soul, which is unfortunate if you're low on URCP because triple Barrage. I think the Dryden's also ultra rare. I'm not sure exactly. Definitely making the deck more expensive. Branded Despia taking a game 1 victory. And what's exciting about this duel is both of these decks are fighting at the top spot, Tier 1, Vanquish Soul and Branded Despia. Let's go. Maxi preemptively will make the thrust activatable to set up a trap. We are banishing the Pantera, grabbing that Raisin. Very well done. Raisin is here, come to me. Jiao Long. We're going to use the thrust, setting to the back row our Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. And now, stake your soul, revealing a dark to summon a dark. That's going to be Mad Love, which will probably be searching for the Book of Moon card. That is the Dust Devil. Quick effect gets spinning. Even under Maxi, we're still going to special summon the Borger. Now we have 6 cards in the opponent's hand, revealing the Mad Love to draw into a Zodiac Barrage. Zodiac Barrage, I'm really conflicted on it being good because of Max C. It's, you know, you activate it, they Max C, they draw 2, you get a Trident. Is that really worth it? Then you can't further special summon with the rest of your cards. But it is a 1 card without having to use your special summon Zeus also. So it's an immensely powerful card with Max C, I would say, keeping it in check. Again, under Max C, summoning a Rock of the Vanquisher to recycle the Raisin in the graveyard. The opponent now drawing into 8 cards after that many special summons. Borger revealed the Mad Love, drawing into our Garnet, the Ram. We probably do not play another Zodiac, thus, we just screwed up our Zodiac Barrage. Albion sending a Retribution from the deck to the graveyard. We want the Serenir in the graveyard so that we could grab a Branded Fusion. Lubellion is here, triggering the Serenir, sending a Regained instead of a Branded Fusion. We're going to be summoning the Raisin, not into the same column as the Lubellion because he made sure to summon it in the same column as the Borger. Now returning the Raisin to summon a Valius. Valius is going to be activating its effect to reveal 3 attributes to pop the Lubellion before it sets up with a Branded Lost. Jiao Long is going to be triggered, summoning itself onto the field. Retribution adding the Regained. What are we doing here? What is our play? Setting up with the Regained, activating Druiswarm to draw a random card here. Returning the Lubellion back into the deck, drawing into a Gold Sark, which could banish a Tragedy. We already used up our normal summon. Summoning our Bestial Albur, flipping it face down so a Cartesia could not be special summoned for free, which he did not even have. Banishing Mercurier activating to grab an Albaz monster, which will be the Cartesia. Cartesia without an Albaz on the field or in the graveyard could not special summon. So we're just gonna set it up. Oh yeah, Cartesia added, that was it. All right. Now, is the Branded in red even activatable? It must target a Despia or Fallen Albaz, which the Bestial Albur counts as a Fallen Albaz, but it's face down on the field stuck. We can't even use the Branded in red. All we have is the Magna Hut effect in the hand. So I believe very easily, Vanquish Soul will be winning this duel. Valius with the non-target card destruction of a card on the field, taking out the Regained. Borger drawing a card. Borger drawing so many cards here. Reinforcement in the army, grabbing another Raisin, not that we needed it. Now making Azza. Azza right under the Rock of the Vanquisher, linking this off into Celine Navida. This will be able to special summon a spellcaster from our hand or grave. We're going to use the Vanquish Soul Continue to reborn our Jiao Long. Call by the Grave is going to finger negate that Jiao Long, banishing it, stopping it from being reborn from the grave. And any further copies for the next 2 turns will be negated. Follow up summoning the Raisin. Raisin activating to search the deck for, you know, it's not going to be a Jiao Long that we can activate. Magna Hut banishing from the opponent's graveyard the Borger, and also chaining to our banish, which will be our Call by the Grave, onto the Caesar Valius, which a lot of people play, you know, it's 1 to 2, but I think most people are playing 2. So what's important here is the Caesar Valius and the Jiao Long both being negated, so the Raisin does not search for either. We're now going to be linking this up, I should say, into an access code talker with the Celine Avida. That's going to be boosting up to 5,300, banishing Celine, taking out the back row, non-target, goodbye to Branded in red. Banishing again, taking out the Magna Hut, with 2 cards set. If we take out the Druiswarm, it's going to send the access code talker to the grave. So what do we do about the Druiswarm? Druiswarm states that it has to be sent from the field to the graveyard through battle or not. It will be sending the access code talker. Special summoning Cartesia because we have the Bestial Albur in the graveyard, summoning the Raisin in the same column as the Cartesia. Activating to destroy the column, which we could just chain fuse with the Cartesia, which will trigger the Druiswarm to send the access code talker to the grave. Gangrenal is here. activating the effect of Gangrenol and the Druid Storm, targeting the access code talker, as we said. Gangrenol will be triggered off of the Rock of the Vanquisher, summoning a monster from the hand, which we already did, so it's not going to in this circumstance. Grabbing a Serenir from the deck with the effect of the Lubellion, banishing the access code talker, sending it to the graveyard to reborn our Lubellion. Lubellion will set up a branded spell or trap into the back row. Serenir sending a branded High Spirits from the deck to the graveyard. But now we're using the ultimate effect of the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil, which will destroy the entire field of non-Vanquish Souls. Wiping out everything. Branded DO YouTube only having a triple tactics talent left, which will be negated by the Ash Blossom, thus resulting in no cards in the hand, nothing in the field, as we now return back to the hand to summon our Borger, which will trigger the Gangrenol to summon a Quem or a monster from the extra deck. It's going to be a Despia monster, or it's going to be Despia. Quem on summon, sending an Albaz from the deck to the grave. Cartesia in the graveyard adding back to the hand during the end phase, which will be discardable with our Albaz if we reborn that from the graveyard. Titanclad summoning an Albaz during the end phase. So much is happening here from nothing on the field, nothing in the hand. Now we have a Quem. We had 2 cards in the hand. We're summoning an Albaz in the deck with a Titanclad, discarding one of those added cards to now fuse with the field, fusing with the Borger to make a Lubellion, to discard the second card added to the hand, which is the Branded and High Spirits, triggering the effect of Quem to reborn the Cartesia. This is nuts! We're doing so much in the end phase. Lubellion fusing with the Graveyard and Banishment to fuse into Mirror Jade. Now, Mirror Jade could trigger the Quem during the next turn. So what is going on here? Cartesia and Mirror Jade could trigger Quem to reborn a monster from the graveyard. Mirror Jade could banish a monster on the field non-targeting. Let's go. But Vanquish Soul having 6 cards in the hand plus the Raisin on the field, it's, I believe, going to be too much for Branded Despia to play through this. Making the Rock of the Vanquisher, which will trigger the Quem to reborn from the graveyard Albaz with no cards in the hand. So it's not going to be able to discard, not be able to make the fusion play. Albaz just being here and met with a Maxi, so we get to draw 1 off of that. Also, more special summoning is likely to be happening here with the Cartesia. We have Mirror Jade sending Albion ready for the non-target monster banish. Goodbye to Borger. Triple Tactics talent will be resolving to take control of that Mirror Jade. Since we no longer control a Mirror Jade, we could potentially summon another Mirror Jade, making this Sanctifier Dragon with the effect of the Cartesia Sanctifier cannot be targeted by card effects, but it could be sent to the graveyard through the Borbo, turning into a Zeus after attacking directly. Zeus is ready to wipe the field whenever we want to, and the Sanctifier Dragon can only activate during the opponent's turn. So as soon as we pass during the end phase to the next player, we no longer can target 2 monsters in any graveyard, then summon them onto either field. Grabbing a Brand Fusion with the Albion effect. Branded and High Spirits adding back to the hand during the end phase. Giving back the Mirror Jade, did not activate the Sanctifier. Goldsark is done ticking, adding a Mercurier. What the heck has happened in this duel? How is Branded Despia now the one to win this duel? We had nothing on the field, nothing in the hand. We now have 5 cards in the hand, a giant field. This is absolute insanity. Now Vanquish Soul's gonna lose, and I don't even know how. Summoning Cartesia, activating Branded Fusion, which is gonna be negated by the Ash Blossom. Negate. Very good Ash here. Get ready. Cartesia is going to be fusing with the Lubellion to make our Gangrenol. We're waiting with the Zeus. When do we field wipe? When is the opportune moment? Nadir Servant sending a Rinbrum from the extra deck to the graveyard. Normal summoning Quem. Quem send an Albion. We have Rock adding from the graveyard to our hand our Raisin. To battle we go. Zeus cannot be destroyed by battle. Why is that again? Why can't it be destroyed? Huh? No, okay, he was just swinging into it. It's not big enough, that's why, of course. 3K is not able to destroy 3K, obviously. Mirror Jade not activatable since we activated it during the next turn. Mercurier negating the Zeus. Why did we swing into Zeus? Why did we do that? I don't really understand why we did that. We were trying to trick him into activating to wipe the field, probably. I think so. I think we were out of plays and we had nothing else left. We do have the Mirror Jade activatable to banish a monster off the field. Herald of the Abyss, though, could be sending the Mirror Jade to the grave. Now, if Mirror Jade gets sent to the grave, you could reborn it with the Sanctifier Dragon, but the Herald of the Abyss states that Mirror Jade can still not activate its effects even if reborn from the grave. So we have a situation where, do we just activate Mirror Jade or what? Okay, Mirror Jade sent to the graveyard. Raisin is activating, grabbing the Jiaolong. Raisin is revealing the Jiaolong and the Mad Love to destroy the Sanctifier Dragon. Sanctifier Dragon is targeting Maxi and Magna Hut to reborn both from the graveyard onto either side of the field. He'll be taking the Magna Hut, giving Maxi on over to the Vanquish Soul player. Sanctifier Dragon now gone through the effect of the Raisin destroying the column. As we now add the Borger in the graveyard back to the hand, Valius returning the Raisin back to the hand to come forth and summon, ready to destroy any card in the field non-targeting. Not activating that effect, summoning a Borger instead, triggering the Gangrenol to summon a Despia monster. Get ready for that. Borger is revealing to draw a card, drawing into another Barrage, which I believe is dead. With the Ram in the graveyard, we cannot Barrage summon any Zodiac from the deck. Zeus going on to the attack, taking out the Quem. Goodbye to the double Quem. And now we're ending our turn as the Cartesia recycles itself back to the hand during the end phase. Magna Hut searching for a Lubellion during the end phase. Rinbrum, while in the graveyard, is going to reborn the Albaz from the graveyard, discarding a card to fuse with the opposing field to, I think, make a Mirror Jade. Yes? Discard? Fuse with... No, we're not. We're making Sprin the Iron Dash Dragon. Now, Sprin has this really interesting effect during your own main phase. It's not a quick effect. You move this card, and then you destroy all other face-up cards in that column, not the back row. That's face down. Which I guess we could destroy the Rock of the Vanquisher. I guess we're going to wait with the Sprint effect. We're going to use Cartesia special summoning itself onto the field since we have an Albaz, making a Dissipator in a branded deck. Dissipator is targeting the Asa to special summon it onto our side of the field. Or I should... No. Correction. Can't do that. We're going to be negating the... This is an absolutely insane duel. Turn 8. How have you not timed out yet? Gia, did you mess up the time limit rules or what? Dissipator is negating the activation of the Rock, attempting to special summon a Vanquish Soul from the hand. Get ready. Sprin's going to move into the column of the Zeus, taking out the Zeus. Saranir banishing the opposing Borger from the graveyard to come forth and summon, then sent to the graveyard to summon a Lubellion. Lubellion setting up a branded spell and trap into the back row. Dissipator is now going to be taking the banished Access Code Talker, so correction, you could have taken the Asa if we wanted to, if it was properly summoned. Because the Access Code Talker was properly summoned like 5 other turns ago in this duel. I forgot that this was even summoned. We now have an Access Code Talker on our side of the field. Access Code Talker banishing itself, taking out the set Zodiac Barrage. We're going to be banishing for the Baldrake. Please end this duel at 11,000 damage. Wipe out everything, taking out the Rock of the Vanquisher. It just like that, finally, lethal damage. I am tapping out from that duel. What the heck was that? 8 turns of not timing out. Okay. Special summoning our Unicorn, and alongside normal summoning our Whiptail, searching for our Theosis to then summon a Fenrir from the deck. Fenrir will be grabbing our Rise Heart. Are we gonna big bang our Shang-Ri? Possibly. Special summoning a Rise Heart, setting up with our Dryden on the side, which will be able to pop any card we control. Dryden could pop Shang-Ri, and then with Birth, you could reborn the card we popped, as the Shang-Ri will protect itself from destruction. That's kind of interesting. Rise Heart banishing a Unicorn, so we're not going to big bang our Shang-Ri. Locking up a Pendulum Scale in case we're playing against Pendulums. As we now make a 1-card of Rise Heart, ensuring that any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Now we're going to have to be dealing with an evenly matched at the end of the battle phase first. At the start of main phase 1, we're going to be using Pot of E to draw 2. This is it. A Rise Heart's activating to grab a second material. With the third material, it's going to have the quick effect to banish any card in the field, which the evenly match will be triggering it. So I think we leave up just the Arise Heart, yes. Trident is detaching a material to definitely not pop the evenly match. If you were to pop the evenly match, you have to banish your entire field. Trident popping itself to ensure that it does not get banished face down. I don't think that really does anything. The Arise Heart is now equipping the Whiptail. Whiptail does not give it a benefit, right? If an Xyz monster whose original type is Beast Warrior, yeah, no, that does not work. Now we do have the effect of the Arise Heart banishing itself in response to not a Triple Tactics talent, but a Triple Tactics thrust. So we could not thrust a card into the hand, now forcing him to set it. Let's go. Interesting. That evenly matching a thrust really screwed him up, setting a card of Demise, which is semi-limited. That card needs to be banned or limited to 1. This is absolutely unacceptable. And did he really think that he was going to add to the hand? Possibly. Now, what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with incredible toxicity. We have Fossil Dyna. Neither player could special summon. So just summon a monster that's bigger than 1200, right? Attack over it. We have the Royal Decisive Battle of Golgonda. If a card you control would be destroyed, you could instead send a fusion monster to the graveyard, which could be, something like Elder Entity, right? It does have to mention Albaz in it. You could send a fusion monster that mentions Albaz as a material from your action X to the graveyard instead. So, not any fusion, but there are good options there. We also have backed up a Solemn Judgment, which can negate a summon, a spell, or trap. The Harpy Feather Duster that we do have in our hand will be negated, or will protect our back row with the Golgonda. We also have a Solemn Strike, which will negate a special summon or a monster effect. I think we lose. Zodiac Barrage, we can't special summon, so that's dead. Harpy Feather Duster, we don't even have to use the Solemn Judgment. Golgonda. Welcome to the effect of Golgonda. Golgonda is relatively a new card I've been seeing in stun decks, and it's been putting in great work. A really powerful card protecting you from the full back row wipe of Harpy Feather Duster. All right, we get to go first. We're not going to be disrupted by the Inspector Border, but seeing that there is a Sphere Mode Raw in the hand, that's a Lava Golem for 3 monsters. So we have to stop at 2 or less monsters, or we have to have way more than 3 monsters. So those are options, less than 3 or way more than 3, but perfectly 3 and we auto lose the duel. Rise Heart also randomly banishing cards off the top of their deck, but we can't see the cards banished, getting rid of a Shadow Imprisoning Mirror and a Solemn Judgment. Okay, hey, we could end on 2. This works out, this is perfect. Zodiac Trident plus an activatable Rise Heart, any card sent to the graveyard will be banished instead, and we do have the quick effect to pop a face up or banish any card in the field. What do? Pot of Desires. Guess what? The Droplet is not activatable. Send your cards to the graveyard, which is an illegal activation. Thus, we cannot negate the Trident nor negate the Arise Heart. Ash is going to negate the Pot of Desires, banishing 10 as a cost to attempt to draw 2. I do not think so. And the Inspector Border is not going to stop the Arise Heart from being activatable. We got the Battle of Golgonda, Harpy Feather Duster wiping out the Tenki. Sure. Okay. Rise Heart activating to equip the banished Tenki, summoning the Inspector Border, using the Trident, which is our once per turn active. Ooh. We now can't chain a Rise Heart because we're only restricted to 1 activation. The Golgonda is going to protect the Inspector Border, but it's going to send a banished card. Okay. So it's not really doing anything. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not triggering something crazy here. We are activating the Arise Heart, banishing the Inspector Border off the field, but the threat remains. The Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere mode if we do not inflict lethal damage. Grabbing a Thoroughblade, normal summoning Thoroughblade, which now we are playing right into the Raw, and it does not look like we have lethal damage here. Double Trident on the field. The best we can do is 4,700, and I get a Raw now. Damn, this is not good. We have Zeus, Trident, Rise Heart. That's quick effect, banish a card. Quick effect, wipe the whole field. Quick effect, pop any face-up card. And all of that is gone. As the Sphere Mode Raw tributes the entire field to come forth and summon a ball to your field. Now, I'm not familiar with this card. What is going on? Draco Utopian Aura. Quick, it is a counterplay. and your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. Then you could apply the following effect. You could banish one monster from your hand. If you do, special summon the monster that was destroyed and sent to the graveyard by this effect to your field, but negate its effects. Huh? Harpy Feather Duster would be nullified by the Golgonda. Off the top of the deck, we have Pot of Duality as the Sphere Mode Raw goes back to the original owner during the end phase. We have Inspector Border having to summon Set, as it's not summonable while you have a monster on the field. Top decking to a Droll and Lockbird, we now have Fenrir. Fenrir on attack is going to be negated and destroyed by the Draco Utopian Aura. Ain't no way. So you don't have to banish a monster to negate. It's optional. You can banish a monster from your hand. Wow. That is quite nutty. And that would have taken control of the Fenrir if we had a monster in the hand. Flipping up the Inspector Border. If you don't have an extra deck monster on the field, you cannot activate a monster effect. Playing more than one Draco Utopian Aura. This only negates a monster effect on the field. Normal summoning our Fossil Dyna. Neither player could special summon. Neither player could activate monster effects. We also have a Forbidden Droplet. If you happen to be bigger than my Fossil Dyna, we are now setting our DD Crow. We also have Golganda if you tried to destroy my monster by battle. Now we have Necro Valley, which prevents both players from moving cards from the graveyard. No Reborn, no Banish. What do? Well, we have Harpy Feather Duster, but it's no good. The Golganda is protecting our backer from being destroyed. Every turn, setting a hand trap. We have a Zodiac, which could become a 1-card Dryden into a Zeus, but our Zeus is gone. We also can't special summon. This is absolutely ridiculous. Setting off the top of the deck an Inspector Border, overcommitting to the field, knowing that none of our cards can be destroyed, grabbing a Unicorn that cannot even be special summoned. Let's speed this up. We now have, we have another Floodgate that we didn't even have to flip up. Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. Do you see all the Floodgates we have to resort to because of all the good ones being restricted? If we type in Floodgate onto the website to see the most popular Floodgates, there could be only one semi-limited, Skill Drain limited to 1, Goes and Match limited to 1, Rivalry of Warlords limited to 1, Spell Fragrance semi-limited, but all that has resulted in was going to the lesser used Floodgates, and we still have an incredibly powerful deck as we use cards like Grave of the Super Ancient Organism, which states, level 6 or higher special summon monsters on the field cannot attack nor activate their effects, thus the Kashtiras are useless. Unless we normal summon Tribute or summon with Birth. Gee, how's that sound? Good. Pada E, banishing 6, draw 2, Chain Dimension Shifter. So every card sent to the graveyard will be banished instead. Get that draw 2. Pathfinder does not have to be sent to the graveyard, attributing itself to grab the Pressure Planet, which will be our Kashtira Search. Come to me, Unicorn. Maxi cannot be used under Dimension Shifter. So you're thinking, why didn't we chain our Maxi to the Shifter? Why not? Rise Heart banishing the Birth. We're going to be Theosising onto the Unicorn, summoning from the deck our Fenrir. Theosis will be adding the Birth to our hand since it was banished because of the Shifter banishing everything. Fenrir now searching for the Scareclaw Kashtira here. And we are skipping the Shangri summon. We're going into a 3-material Arise Heart. Why? Well, summon 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfectly plays around Nibiru. And you have an activatable Arise Heart right away. Anything sent to the graveyard will be banished. Let's go. As I said, it is Vanquish Soul, not Kashtira. Off the top of the deck, drawing into a Raisin, searching with Fenrir for a Fenrir. At the start of the battle phase, you need your toggle on to ensure you could do this. If your toggle's not on, it's not going to ask you to activate a Rise Heart before the attack of the Fenrir. You can see the S. S stands for start of the battle phase. You also need your battle phase details turned on in the menu. These are multiple things that are not on by default, and you're just going to get screwed. Goodbye the Fenrir, commit to the battle phase. Very well done. Attaching a Theosis. Now, if that is detached, we'll be adding a banished card to our hand. Raisin in the same column as the Arise Heart. We're going to be able to destroy it. Reveal a Fire and Dark. Goodbye to the Arise Heart. Now, the Theosis normally would not be banished here, but because we're still under Shifter, it is banished. Thus, we get to add back a banished Unicorn. All right, as we added? Yes, we did. And now we have Caesar Valius alongside our Fenrir. Caesar Valius is activatable, ready for that non-target pop of a card in the field. This may be it. With the activation of the Theosis onto the Unicorn, attempting to summon a Fenrir from the deck, we want to pop it in response, that is exactly what we're doing. Reveal 3, get popping, and we're not under Shifter anymore. We can activate Max C. So if he follows up with a Birth to Reborn, we will be drawing per special summon. Now with the Caesar Valius already activated, we have the Triple Tactics Thrust, thrusting a Triple Tactics talent into the hand. With the TTT, we're going to take control of the Fenrir. I'm going to use to search my deck for a Kashtira. Thank you very much. Grabbing a Unicorn, and now we have Birth for an additional normal summon. Well, not additional, but our regular normal summon. Now special summoning another Fenrir with 7,900 damage on the field. We do not have lethal. We keep on special summoning under Max C. What are we doing? Shouldn't we have attacked, banished, and, get battling? Why didn't we do that? Is there a reason where that would have been unsafe to do? We're attaching the Infinite Track Goliath by we randomly banished that with the Pod E. Yes, by randomly banishing it. In the TCG, they had 3 copies of Pod apiece so they could more consistently banish the Goliath, which made the Kashtira deck better. But by randomly banishing the Goliath, it is making the Arise Heart indestructible by card effect. You cannot Caesar Valius it, you cannot Raisin it, and that is what we saw, what was a main way to deal with that Arise Heart. So that destruction protection against Vanquish Soul is going to be big. We have Stake Your Soul, revealing a Dark to summon a Borger or Mad Love from the deck. And we are going to be triggering the Arise Heart to attach a banished material. Mad Love searching from our deck to our hand, a Dust Devil, which could flip the Arise Heart face down, and then we could destroy it while it's face down. Wait, no, I don't think so. You still gain the material. The Goliath, if this card, let's read this. It states that an Xyz monster whose original type is machine. I guess it's face down, so it can't tell that it's machine, so it should be destroyable, I would say. We are going to be banishing the Mad Love, revealing the Dimension Shifter to reduce the attack and defense of the Arise Heart permanently. Goodbye to the Mad Love. And now, we're going to be triggering the Arise Heart, attaching another material, triggering the effect of the Jiaolong because we revealed a card to come forth and summon the Jiaolong. Jiaolong not big enough to take out the Arise Heart. Per different attribute on the field, the Pressure Planet is boosting up the Arise Heart. Grabbing a Snow Devil here with the effect of the Jiaolong. Raisin adding a Pantera. Now, if we activate the effect of the Raisin to destroy the Arise Heart, it won't be destroyed because the Goliath is protecting it. That's it. It did nothing. Maybe we didn't know that. Oh boy, that is an issue because now that we pass the turn back to them, the Arise Heart's activatable again to banish a card in the field. We have a Raisin activatable again, but it can't destroy it again. We have the Dust Devil to destroy the Arise Heart, but it can't be destroyed. The Goliath is needed to beat Vanquish Soul. I'm thinking, what are some other good cards to make you indestructible by card effect, which seemingly is the way to beat Vanquish Soul? Comfort Snow Devil. In response to the Harpy Feather Duster. Harpy Feather Duster, wipe it up. We're not summoning a monster from the hand. We can't destroy the Arise Heart. Attaching the Pathfinder. And now wow. Goliath won this duel. Goliath. Infinite Track Goliath randomly being banished. Do we play 3 in the extra deck to randomly banish it? That's straight up won. I can't believe it. Make yourself protected from destruction. If you could Masquerena into a big link, I guess they're going to struggle to even deal with it. They can't flip a link down. They can't destroy the Calm. They can't destroy with Caesar Valius. They can't destroy with the Dust Devil. I guess that's where the deck goes with the burn damage of Borger. Borger burn every single turn. Pressure Planet. In response to that, we have Dimension Shifter, ensuring every card is banished. We are chaining Maxi to our own Dimension Shifter. Come on to me. And Mad Love now searching for our Snow Devil. Snow Devil is not fully activatable yet until we activate Durendal, popping itself. to grab the Raisin, and now we have Fire, Earth, Dark. Snow Devil will summon the Raisin in the same column as a monster and destroy the entire field of monsters. So what do? Do we Snow Devil or do we wait? Mad Love activating, revealing Dark and Earth to return a monster on the field with the lowest defense, which is itself. Okay. Returning back to the hand on the attack of that Fenrir, taking that 2400 direct, as we now get to use Thrust. Thrusting an Imperm into the back row since we cannot add it to the hand. Not using Snow Devil whatsoever, holding onto the Raisin. Max C in the draw phase. We're going to chain Snow Devil special summon, revealing the Raisin, Mad Love, and the Fenrir to come forth and special summon onto the field, plus destroy the Fenrir and deal 1800 damage. We're summoning Mad Love. Mad Love can search for a Dust Devil, which is our Book of Moon card, which is going to be negated by the Impermanence. Now, Imperm the draw phase on a Vanquish Soul is safe because the Borger and Caesar Valius are only activatable in the main phase to add back to the hand to dodge the Impermanence. Normal summoning that Raisin, grabbing the Caesar Valius. We are going to ideally want to summon it during the opponent's turn to not further play into that Max C. Now, despite being under Max C, it's still worth it to make the Rock of the Vanquisher, giving that draw 1 to add the Raisin in the graveyard back to the hand. Now, we're going to have to deal with the Kurikara. Per monster on the field that activates their effect on the field, the Kurikara will be able to tribute it. We're going to Max C in the draw phase, being met with a Call by the Grave, Finger the Sea, negate. All right. Yeah, they already got one of my leakers, but we got more. We have Pathfinder here, using the Mad Love to return back the lowest defense. Vanquish Soul, right? The Rock of the Vanquisher? No, it's not considered to have a defense whatsoever, so we will return back the Pathfinder. Come forth and summon a Unicorn, activating the Rock of the Vanquisher, summoning the Raisin. Raisin in the same column as the Unicorn. So what's interesting here is we're going to have to toggle on if we want to. Toggle on, destroy the column before the Kurikara tributes over the Rock, the Mad Love, and the Raisin for a whopping 3k 45, 6,000 attack. That's lethal damage. So do we win? Do we have 8,000 damage, or are we going to destroy the column, stopping lethal? Toggle on, toggle on, toggle on. Yep. Wiping that column with the toggle on before the lethal damage of the Kurikara, and returning back the Raisin back to the hand before the Kurikara gets to tribute over it. That was game had we not toggled on. We're still going to summon Kurikara. Come forth Kurikara, which will now be destroyed by the Caesar Valius. Caesar Valius revealing Earth, Dark, Fire. You have to be good with your toggle if you want to play Vanquish Soul. And you saw right then and there, that duel was lost. That was 8,000 damage lethal with the toggle being on auto or off. Preempting the Maxi within the draw phase, met with an Ash negate. As Kashtira has Rise Heart Theosis play, we could pot a P, our limited to 1 pot of P. We can ensure that our Goliath is banished so that it could protect our Arise Heart from being destroyed by card effect, being protected from Raisin, Snow Devil, Caesar Valius. We're going to be grabbing a Unicorn off the top 6 cards of our deck here, grabbing a Birth since we already have that Theosis. Normal summoning our Pathfinder to grab our field spell. We're going to be Theosising a Fenrir onto the field, searching our deck for a Scareclaw Kashtira. Special summoning a Rise Heart, making the Shang-Ri early. Are we going to Big Bang it? We do not play Big Bang, probably. Banishing the Birth, activating the field spell, searching for another Unicorn. Banishing from the graveyard Theosis to grab the Birth back to our hand. It will be our second Birth. And now we're going to be making double Shang-Ri to now make a 3-material Rise Heart, so it is activatable right away. Now, in order to be indestructible, we need any card to be banished. If any card gets banished here, we're going to be able to attach the Goliath and then be protected. Shang reactivating to summon a Fenrir from our deck. Special summoning our own Fenrir and not banishing it, because if we banished it, he could have then summoned another Fenrir. So this is a sticky situation here. We could make ourselves protected from destruction, but how do we stop the Fenrir from banishing our Arise Heart? Well, you activated, so that will trigger our Fenrir, but the point still stands. We could special summon Fenrir. So that was kind of bait. Attaching the Goliath with the Arise Heart, locking up another zone with the Shang-Ri. I think it is ideal for Shang-Ri. It's not that important, but if you use Shang-Ri to lock up behind the extra monster zone, because the Rock of the Vanquisher points backward where they can make cards like Phoenix or Cerberus, which is going to be co-linked to then not only destroy a card you control, but also draw a card. So that does do something. Special summoning another Fenrir, special summoning a Rise Heart, which locks us into Xyz only. We can now not make Rock of the Vanquisher. Rise Heart detaching everything but the Goliath to banish the Fenrir off the field. It is protected from destruction, and any card being sent to the graveyard will be destroyed. Raisin in the same column is not going to be able to destroy it. Borger chain to the Shang-Ri. We're going to return the Raisin. So what's interesting here is the Shang-Ri is pointing to a monster zone to lock it up, but you could still summon a monster into that zone before it gets locked up. And then while it's there, the monster zone is locked up, but the monster's there and it's still fully functional. So we should probably summon the Borger there. That's exactly what we do. Borger zone is locked up as the Borger is also occupying it. The Borger is going to be revealing a Dark to draw a card as the Pressure Planet is chaining or activating because of the Shang-Ri activating to destroy the Borger. Thus, the zone is further locked up. We have Stake Your Soul. Reveal a fire to summon a Jiao Long from the deck. We could reveal double fire to search our deck for a Snow Devil. Rise Heart is one card exceeding into our own Arise Heart. If you do not have this in the extra deck or your Vanquish Soul deck, you're going to be adding it now. Now, our own Arise Heart can go right into a Zeus if we want to, or we could wait until we have 3 material. I think we Zeus the field. Yeah. Jiao Long revealing double fire to search our deck for our Snow Devil. As we now main phase 2, Zeus it up, ready to take out the Pressure Planet. Wait, we're not activating it yet. We're waiting. Snow Devil cannot deal with the Arise Heart. The Zeus is the only thing that could deal with it. Now, if we were to Zeus the Kashtira Arise Heart, that will trigger the Elder Entity Entis to pop a card in the field. That will trigger the Garura to also draw a card. So he does kind of have a backup plan if the Arise Heart gets dealt with. This is very interesting. Detaching 3 to banish the Zeus, activating Snow Devil, and we're going to chain Zeus to the Snow Devil. That's what I'm thinking. Zeus will wipe the field, and then we'll summon the Raisin. Wipe it up. Goodbye to the Birth, goodbye to the Field Spell, goodbye to the Shang-Ri, goodbye to the Arise Heart. And now the Elder Entity will be popping the Raisin. The Theosis will be adding the Fenrir, and because it was detached as a material while the Arise Heart was on the field. And what about the Garura? Yeah, didn't we have Garura? Wait, we detached the Garura. Garura got banished. Fenrir back to the hand, open field. We could special summon our newly added Fenrir. We're going to chain Borger, return the Raisin back to the hand, being met with a Max C. Do we Ash it or we just don't care? Okay, you want to draw 1? Sure. Borger is here. Borger is now going to be banished because it activates its own effect to come forth and summons. We're going to be revealing the Shifter to draw 1 here into our own Max C. We have not activated, so we're going to activate it right here, right now. Jiao Long, because we revealed for the Borger, is going to be special summoning under Max C. It's like maybe we should have ashed, draw 2 on their turn where they could lethal you potentially. Activating our Birth, activating Fenrir to add a Rise Heart from the deck. Jiao Long is going to be searching our deck, not changing the battle position of a monster on the field, which we maybe would need to do to survive this turn. There's now a Unicorn on the field. Birth is now special summoning another body on the field. Now we have Scareclaw, Kashtira, negating the Jiao Long as we battle into it. We do not have lethal damage as we look at the extra deck, banishing the Dugaris from the deck. And the Fenrir already activated Banish, so the chance of being lethal were much less likely there. And by holding onto the Ash, it actually worked. So we could have stopped Pot of Greed on their own turn, but we're going to instead, by holding on to it, stop the Maxi on our own turn, unhindering our non-stop special summoning. And by activating the Maxi, that could trigger the Unicorn, which could make our Kurikara summonable. And when summoned, that does not trigger the Fenrir. Raisin on summon, searching our deck for the Jiao Long. We cannot play around the Fenrir, banishing the Raisin, but we didn't activate the Fenrir anyway. Activating to destroy the column of the Scareclaw Kashtira, now linking this off into a Rock of the Vanquisher. When do we use the Fenrir? We're going to summon Mad Love, searching for a continue, which could reborn a monster from the graveyard into defense. Mad Love revealing a dark to reduce the attack and defense of the Fenrir down to 1900. Come forth and summon the Jiaolong, and then summon the Kurikara by tributing over the Unicorn. And just like that, 1100 damage over that Fenrir, 1200 directly after a 2400. We're going to have the ability to reborn the Fenrir from the opponent's graveyard, giving us further disruption. What can we do here? We can continue, reborn the Raisin, search, destroy the column, so be very careful about this column here. We have Mad Love, which can reduce the attack and defense. Can also, if we search for an Earth, we could reduce the lowest defense in the field back to the hand, which would be our Kurikara, which could recycle it. And we have the Dust Devil, which could flip the field face down. We're birthing the Fenrir onto the field from the grave, birthing a Unicorn from the hand. Dust Devil flip down both the Unicorn and the Fenrir face down. And that is going to result in us surrendering. Vanquish Soul, defeating Pure Kashtira. Hajime. Preemptive Max C. We're going to Pot of E, get Banishing, get Drawn. We're going to be special summoning our Unicorn, even under that Max C. Birth is going to be normal summoning our Fenrir, then ending our turn. So this still technically is disruption here. The Shifter is no good though. Shifter cannot be used, and Shifter against Vanquish Soul could be quite decent. Fenrir searching for a Fenrir, triggering the Fenrir, but then we could special summon our Fenrir from the hand. Okay. Goodbye from the extra deck. What did we banish? We banished a Zeus. Zeus is limited 1, so it is a great banish. We're going to maxi preemptively. Ooh. This is why we maxi in the draw phase, generally, because now the triple tactics talent was activatable where it otherwise would have not been. Searching for a birth. This is a lot of Kashtira in a Vanquish Soul deck. So the main way to play Vanquish Soul is either with Zodiac or Kashtira. Summoning the Raisin in the same column as the Fenrir. Rise Heart special summoning. And we're going to chain activate the Raisin to destroy the column, taking out the Fenrir. Rise Heart's going to lock us into Xyz only by special summoning. Now we can't make Rock of the Vanquisher. Rise Heart banishing Unicorn. Birth could special summon it if we want to. We have used up our normal summon already. We were out of Fenrirs. Borger returned back the Raisin. We could reveal a Dark. Keep on drawing under Max C. Are you out of your damn mind? I guess you're trying to lethal damage though. That Scareclaw Kashtira are going to be stopping that lethal damage. Galaxy Tomahawk under Max C and in the main monster zone, so we only summon 2 tokens. What are we doing? Huh? Okay, you can't Zeus because it got banished. Bro, what just happened? Are we panicking under the time limit? I don't understand. Something happened. I think we're running out of time. Time limit to within turn 2. Ash negate the Max C mate. Borger reveal the Dark. Come to me. Draw a card. Can Shaw the Crow end this duel? With all those cards in his hand, surely you should be able to. You know, we're just going to scoop up. This might be a time limit. Possibly surrendered. The time was probably low. Mad Love searching for our Dust Devil, which will be able to flip a card on the field face down per Vanquish Soul monster we control with a different name. Reveal the Mad Love with the Borger, newly summoned to draw a card every single turn. Now we have Caesar Valius ready to pop a card in the field non-targeting. We're going to be revealing the Earth to make it unaffected from everything just for this turn, just to trigger the Jiaolong to come forth and summon. Now we're making Rock of the Vanquisher to add back the Caesar Valius in the graveyard. We're going to Moonlit Chill. Ooh, we screwed up. This is not a trigger effect. It is a quick effect, and the chill is a trigger effect. Thus, you're supposed to activate this in an open game state, not in response to its own summon. You just got chilled. Damn, we could have played around this 100%. Very interesting. No one plays around the chill. Would I have played around it? Of course I would have. Did not draw phase the impermanence. You do need your toggle on for that. I think that probably would have been ideal here. No. 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 No! Chain Rock of the Vanquisher, so we're not negated. Draw phase. Toggle on. I do want you all to know, maybe a lot of you don't know this. There's a new setting where it will auto toggle on at the start of the duel and at the end of the turn. In my video, I said it would be annoying to toggle on at the end of the turn. I'm still doing it. It is the optimal way to play. You could be looking away. It's going to be auto toggle on. You draw into an impermanence, and now it's activatable right then and there. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to left click. You don't have to be fast. Turn on those settings. Come for the unicorn. Dust Devil is going to flip down that unicorn. Normal summoning our Rise Heart, and we're going to be popping that Rise Heart, I believe, before the birth would be made activatable. No, we're not. Okay. So we didn't activate Rise Heart to make the birth activatable, and we knew that this would pop us. So we're activating Theosis. I don't understand what's going on. Why not banish and then activate this and then follow up birth into Fenrir into, you know, search and yeah, right? Doesn't really make sense to me. Get popping. Yeah, open game state. We had Rise Heart. We didn't activate. So birth is now kind of dead. Return back for Borger. Borger draw a card during the end phase. It's okay. Nerves could get to the players. Jiao Long in response to us revealing. Come forth and summon. We didn't have another fire to reveal there to search our deck. Normal summoning our Mad Love, grabbing the Snow Devil for next turn, which there should not be another turn. 7,900 damage on the field, plus the Borger could burn for lethal. Get burning. 1,500 burn with a follow-up lethal damage, putting this into a Game 3 match. Very nicely done. Let's go, let's go. Dropping that Max C. And now we got Shifter into our Pathfinder, which does not need to be sent to the graveyard. Ash is activatable even under the Shifter. Got Field Spells searching for the Unicorn, not ashing that, which is high risk, high reward. We are also, because they're under Max C, maybe it's better to let them special summon a bit. Do we negate the Pot of D? Draw 2? I think so. Now, Pot of D is always a risk that you're banishing too much. Oh, double Fenrir gone, and the card is semi-limited. So completely removed from the duel. Well, not completely, because a Rise Heart can attach it, and then we could, you know, through that, get back, access back to our Fenrir. Not completely gone. We do have Goliath banished, which is very good against Vanquish Soul, but there is a Kaiju. Ending on nothing. There was a Max C that hindered us a little bit here. Pantera is really good. Also, Durendal equipping onto the opponent's monster to search our deck for a Raisin. Great. Pantera, free special summon, wipe out the column of the back row, take out the impermanence. Revealing an Earth and Fire, goodbye Imperm. And we did not even commit to our normal summon. Return back for the Caesar Valius. Caesar Valius is going to be not fully activatable until we add a Dark Monster to the hand here. Jiao Long could add that Dark Monster, then the Caesar Valius could wipe a card in the field. Are we adding a Dark? We could add a Dark during the next turn. Instead, we got the Borger. Now the Valius could get popping. Reveal all 3 attributes, wiping out the monster on the field. You have 7,200 damage plus Borger, reveal, Earth and Fire for game. That's it. This turn, not next turn, right now, game. Lethal damage. What a great deck. Come on. The deck is good. The deck is good. Stop coping. It's good. It's good. It's top tier. Albion sending the Albaz. We are randomly drawing into our Serenir. Brand opening. Come forth into our Alibur. Are we playing Chimera? Some people are not playing. We do have Chimera, so maybe we want a Chimera, pop 2 cards on the field, or we could go into our Mirror Jade play. Adding the Wyver Burster with the Chaos Space. Banishing with the Wyver Burster to make the Chaos Space activatable to draw a card. Striker is going to be adding the Boot Sector Launch. Wyver Burster adding a Collapsed Serpent. And if we activate a monster effect, that thrust is going to get thrust in. What is it thrusting into? Is that a 60-card deck? No, we're not thrusting into a grass. We also have Tainted at 50 cards here. Come forth and summon the Druid Swarm. Now we are thrusting into a TTT. Do we take control or draw 2? Draw 2 it is. Come to me. Dead Cyframe Gear Gamma, which we return back of the deck. We are going to now branded in red. Is this Mirror Jade or Chimera? We are going to be going into a Borreload instead. Well, we lost the card that we could have discarded to make the Mirror Jade, that is. Interesting that we go Borreload instead of Chimera. Wouldn't it be better to Chimera? Wait, was there, how many bodies are on the field? Was there just one to pop? Chimera pop 2 maybe better? Or I guess this has more versatility later in the duel, potentially. Is our duel now over? Because we're out of disruption. Oh my Jesus. Chaos Ruler adding a Lubellion off the top of the deck. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. We are milling 10 cards off the top of the deck here. Allure, our Darkness, banishing our Albaz. And do we have a great play here or what? We have Cartesia into Gangrenol. Gangrenol could send from the deck to the graveyard in Albion. Albion, this is a Branded Fusion right here. This is like searching Branded Fusion. Retribution, Branded Fusion, add it to the hand, and we got it. But the Bestial stops it. But the Bestial does not stop it. This used to stop it. It no longer stops it because the Gangrenol into the Quem is going to send the Branded Fusion. Gotcha. I feel like we saw this happen already in a previous duel. It's happening again. Branded Fusion sending Tragedy, and Albaz Tragedy will be searching our deck for a Despia that we cannot normal summon. A lot of people are no longer playing the higher level Despia that reborns the Mirror Jade. Quem is also going to be triggered, reborning the Cartesia from the grave. Come forth. Quick effect, Fuse. Oh, we do have Libitum. Very interesting. I don't think everyone's playing that. I'd have to look at the new ratios of how Branded's being played. Mirror Jade, non-target monster banish is here during the end phase. Albion will be search and or setting up our Branded in red. So what we have here, our disruption is we have the Branded in red, which could go into a Chimera to pop 2 cards in the field, plus reborn our Mirror Jade, plus make it non-target monster banish again. So that's about 2 disruptions here. And then maybe Quem could reborn the Albaz to fuse with the opponent's field. That's another disruption. Let's go. Psyframe Gear Gamma negating the Max C, plus giving us a potential free level 8 Synchro. This is devastating. If you could ever resolve a Gamma on your own turn for that free level 8 Synchro, which could also turn into a Baron to floor, you should be winning. But we have big plays, so maybe you don't win. Chimera wipe them out, Mirror Jade resummon, and we're gonna be drawing a card. Maybe we draw into a hand trap, maybe we draw into an Ash. Reborn the Mirror Jade, and it is ready to non-target monster banish. Not a hand trap, so we are relying on the Mirror Jade here. Cartesia and Quem into the Albaz fusing with the opposing field is something. We can't summon another Mirror Jade with their extra deck monster, so we're gonna have to be a little crafty here. Collapse Serpent gets search in, grab him for the boot sector launch. We have not used up our normal summon yet. Special summoning our Wyvern Burster, linking this off into our Romulus. Romulus into the Ravine, discard the Absol Router. So what's interesting here is if they discard Absol Router for a cost, you could chain a Bestial to banish it and it won't activate. They're not gonna get the Rocket Tracer. Come to us, Rocket Tracer, which free normal summon. Very easily done into our Pisty. Now, by saving the boot sector launch, because the opponent has so many bodies on the field, we could just reborn the Tracer, pop the field spell, summon a level 4 non-tuner. Now we're going with that non-target monster banish right then and there. Goodbye to the Rocket Tracer before the Chaos Ruler was summoned. Does not want Chaos Ruler to be happening. Now we are Cartesiaing to come forth and summon Dragostapelia. Dragostapelia will negate the Pisty. Pisty will not be able to reborn an extra monster. And we are reborning the Mirror Jade. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Like, the Quem could have reborn Albaz to fuse with their field. Otherwise, use Cartesia to fuse with the Mirror Jade, then reborn the Mirror Jade because you moved a card out of the extra deck. Damn. They got 2 new waifus, and they are crazy. This is branded at full power despite all the banless hits. They're not getting any more support. Unbelievable. And, of course, Mirror Jade's activatable again. It's activatable again. So it got to banish, resummon, can banish again. We have a monster negate. Absolute insanity. Tracer and Chaos Space. You could use Tracer to pop the Chaos Space on its activation if you want it to be spicy. Chaos Space returning a banished card back in the deck to draw 1. Oh yeah, Vsauce Samsara. That's an ultra rare also. Yup, let's go. Return a face-up card back to the hand, non-targeting. Negate a monster, also untargetable from monsters and cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Dissipator will be able to destroy a monster in response to its activation. And we got some hidden cards here too. So 3 public disruptions. The Ball Drake could be quite disruptive, potentially. If you summon an Albion Dragon, then banishing the Albaz could be good. Blur, banish Albaz. We're going to be using up our normal summon with the Alibur probably. Grass looking green. Looking pretty damn good here. Gold Sark, banishing Tragedy or Mercurier. Mercurier is going to be our choice as we are going to negate it. So the Dissipator, instead of destroying, it can negate if you return back an opponent's banished card instead of your own. Alibur, come to me. Branded Fusion, we have that Ash waiting. Negate the Branded Fusion, follow up with the Grass, 49 to 28 cards. We are gonna be milling 21 cards. Keep milling, keep on milling. Tons of cards milled. What did we accomplish from that? Tragedy, if we don't activate, could recycle a Branded Spell or Trap in the grave. Serenir is gonna send a Branded Spell or Trap from the deck to the grave. Retribution, recycling the Branded in red back to our hand, which could turn into a Chimera play. We are banishing the Tragedy, not triggering it to grab the Branded Lost, activate the Branded Lost. And now, be careful. If you chain Branded in red to a card effect, if it's chain link 2 or higher, you do not get protected by Branded Lost, and you will get negated by Borland. Do not screw this up. Well, you know, hey, we waited. We'll do it main phase 2. Good. So, Mobile X, very good idea to try to bait it. But did not take the bait. Activate. You not chain link 2 that. It resolved, right? Yep, chain link 1. Very well done. But then we have the Bestial to banish to stop the Branded in red play. And, you know, if we were super crazy giga-brained, wasn't this public information, right? We knew that he added this? I think so. He Magna Hutted it. We could have killed our Alibur. We could have swung Alibur in, let it die, and then we could have used Branded in red main phase 2, and he would not be able to use the Bestial because we have no monster on our field. So maybe that would have been a play. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, kill your own Alibur, and then Branded in red with Branded Lost. I think that was actually, it would have been a crazy play if he did that. Branded Banishment, making sure to ensure it's on chain link 1. Now we cannot respond to this fusion. Using their Borland and Dissipator into Borload. With your toggle on, you could activate this effect. The Quem is activating, the Lost is activating. Because these are activating, you don't have to toggle on here. You could just normally be on auto. You can't chain to this. Can't chain, let it get wiped out, can't imperm. We're gonna be grabbing an Albaz, and then the Quem is gonna be sending from the deck to the graveyard an Albaz. Very well done, Chaos Space, discard a light, grabbing our Levineer. Non-target pop 2 cards on the field is here. Wiping out what? Brand Regain's a good way to chain link block your Levineer from a card. Like, let's say they have Baron to Floor or Borload Savage Dragon. You want to think about using Regain to protect your Levineer to get wiping. We're going to be using the Alibur to negate the Baldrake, reborning itself from the graveyard, triggering the Regain, summoning the Magna Hut, and that was too much for Branded to deal with. Is this the second time today? Dragon Link defeating Branded? I don't know what to think. Which deck is better? They're both too damn good. Let's go. We'll speed this up. Alibur for the Branded Fusion. We got Branded Lost. We're going to be activating the Max C. Come forth and send from the deck, making the Albion Sanctifier Dragon. Normally we would have summoned a Rinbrum under Max C, but maybe this is the new and better card to summon. Regrabbing an Albaz, the Nadir Servant. So what did we accomplish here? This is an Albaz Fusion. So we have Mercurier, which works with it to negate any monster effect. Sanctifier is going to be targeting 2 monsters in the graveyard, which is going to be countered by Called by the Grave, actually. Interesting. I don't think so. Banish that Cartesia. So we were going to give you Maxi and give ourselves the Cartesia. Very well done. The Sanctifier cannot be targeted by card effects, and it can only activate its effect to reborn monsters from the graveyard during the opponent's turn. Let's keep on going. Striker Dragon, we're going to be using our Rinbrum in the graveyard to reborn the Albaz, and we are going to be using Call by the Grave to banish. Now, it's important to note that you all, I've said this multiple times, you know what happens when a card says then, right? The first part has to happen. What happens if a card says and it's correctly placed? So let's read that. Special summon either that monster or this card and bridges the 2 parts of the effect, banish the other. And means both effects must happen for the other effect to happen. So if you DD Crow either card, you don't get to then summon because you can't banish the other. So then the first part has to happen for the second, and you could disrupt either part, and then the other part will not happen. Okay, understandable? Let's go. I have a cat? Yes, we do. Grabbing our boot, sector, launch. So it's important to know that against the Rinbrum, if you have a Bestial or a DD Crow, that you can banish either, and it stops the whole effect. And that's a popular play against DPE when it was popular. You ogre the DPE, and if the DPE was the only monster on the field, the only card in the field, they don't get to pop a card you control. Banishing for the Wyver Burster. Pisty is now here, ready to make a baby with who? It's got to point to the same spot with another monster. That's going to be the Striker Dragon, the big plus. Pisty's a big plus in the deck, +1. Tracer's a +1 in the deck. I guess you could consider the Wyver Burster Collapse Serpent being a +1 in the deck. Get Pop and taking out that Ravine, summoning from the deck a level 4 non-tuner for our Chaos Ruler. Mill 5, grabbing a lighter dark among those 5. And is there any disruption here? There's nothing, that's it. We have nothing left. So generally what you're gonna be planning on here is Access Code Talker plus your Chaos Ruler for 8,000 damage. Very easy. Now, some people are not playing Access Code Talker in their extra. Code name definitely is. We got Delingris, and I guess we're gonna get quite fancy here. Pop in the Delingris. Delingris activate someone from the graveyard. Recharger activate. Reborn itself from the graveyard. And now we're gonna be making a Borland instead to be more fancy. We can attack for lots of damage here, negating the Aliber Reborn from the grave. Oh my cheese, just beat me already. You have game, let's go. Overload, equip from the graveyard, Sabert. Add back from the grave our Lubellion. Adding from our deck our Druisorn, banishing the Rinbrum. Come forth at special summon, Dispater. Just because of this, something should happen to Dragon Link. I'm okay with you putting up a ton of negates. I'm okay with you lethaling me in one turn. I'm not okay with how long it takes. Banish from the field. There you go. Now you know the full power of Dragon Link. Let's go, attacking every single monster on the field. 17,000 damage on the field. Are you proud of yourself? Lethal damage. Of course, I don't fault the player. I fault the deck. Branded Lost. I feel like we saw something similar to this. No, this is a different duel, definitely. Maxi in response to the loss. We got Fusion Deployment. Come forth and summon our Cartesia. Cartesia fusing with the Tragedy without using up our normal summon, which will trigger the Tragedy to grab a Quem or an Aliber. Aliber under Maxi, probably going to be the way. Gangrenol sending from the deck rack checks to the graveyard. Branded Lost searching for an Albaz monster. And that is going to be our Mercurier. But the Gangrenol does not make the Mercurier activatable. We need an Albaz fusion. So we're going to grab the Quem. Albion sending the Branded Fusion from the deck to the graveyard. And we're now going to be summoning Quem. Quem sending Albaz as we use Fusion Duplication onto the Branded Fusion. So same thing as Branded in red. do not chain link to your duplication. You want it on chain link 1, so the Lost will give you that protection from them not being able to chain to your cards. Maxi in response to the Chaos Space, because we know that it's going to be leading into an inherent special summon. Cross out Designate. Negate that Maxi. Okay. Now, do we duplication on Resolution? No, we're waiting. We're waiting. The Quem could also reborn the Albaz to fuse with the fields. We're doing that. We're doing it. We're doing it. The Branded Lost could search for a second Mercurier. The deck does play 2. So we discard this Mercurier. We fuse with the Striker Dragon for a Mirror Jade, right? Or are we gonna, because Branded has so many different lines, maybe we're not even doing that. We're doing something else? I don't even know at this point. Lulu, Walla Lilith? Huh? So finally that this card is summoned, because we've been mostly actually seeing it being sent to the graveyard instead of being summoned. If a card leaves the extra deck, you could target one face-up card in the field. It works just like Fenrir, but instead of banishing it face down, it negates. So that's what's gonna happen. If we Mirror Jade banish a monster, then it will activate on a separate chain link to then negate another face-up card in the field. Will it actually be good? I don't know. I have yet to see it be good on the field. We got Romulus. Get Romulus in. Nocto Vision's gonna be drawing a card, grabbing our Ravine, which will give us access to our Rocket Tracer. Okay. Lulu, Walla, Lilith. Yup. And if your opponent links, couldn't you just negate them there too? Well, a card leaves the extra deck. You then negate the face-up card if you want. Mercurier is going to be negating the Lubellion from searching for a Bestial. Now, are we negating the Ravine? I do think so. Mirror Jade banish the Romulus, trigger Lulu to negate Ravine. Let's go! Negate! Okay. Was that good or what? Does that make you want to play Lulu or what? Fusion duplication, which I said to not do on Chainlink 2. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal though, because they don't really have anything activatable. Could have just waited for this to resolve and then you do it, but this is okay. It's a bad habit to, not play correctly with your Lost though. Albion is here. So the Albion can be chained to, where it would have not been able to be chained to. But now then this fusion summon cannot be chained to. With the toggle on, you could activate it, and then they cannot chain to it. Very well done. Chaos Space, banishing, returning back a banished card, draw 1. We got our Caliber going into Dissipator. We don't have anything left. That's it. Nothing activatable. We activated, we banished, we negated, we reborned, we popped. Dragon Link, have your way. This is it. Chaos Ruler, will this be enough? Do we have an Albert in the graveyard? Something? No, this is it. Straight up, this is it. Add a lighter dark among the 5, grabbing a Nibiru here. Abserator searching for our Rocket Tracer. We have used up our normal summon, and we have activated the Boot Sector, so what's that Tracer gonna do? Lubellion on the field, setting up a Regained. Normally, what's not too relevant in Yu-Gi-Oh! The attack value of monsters is becoming relevant here. That's a large field. It's going to be very difficult to deal with. Grabbing a Triple Tactics talent. Do we take control of the Mirror Jade? Yes. Give me that Mirror Jade. As we then send it to the graveyard for a Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn on summon, discard a card, return a card back into the deck. We're going to be chaining the Assault Synchron because the Chaos Ruler was banished to then banish itself to then reborn the Chaos Ruler back in the field. Goodbye to the Lulu. And now we have Chaos Ruler again. But we can't do lethal damage here. There's no way. Borland Dragon can attack everything on the field. We have 1,500, 2,000 damage with the Borland. Come forth, Striker Dragon. So with 15, 2,000, we got to put 6,000 damage on the field. That ain't happening. Recharger, reborning the Dissipator. Not quite lethal, but still an amazing follow-up play. Dissipator will be able to negate a monster effect. Borland will be able to negate a monster in the field. Dissipator is negating right now, negating the Cartesia because it's a hard once per turn. You may as well negate. Do we have Tragedy plus Branded Fusion? We have Branded Fusion banished, actually. Limited to 1, and it's gone. Flipping up that banishment, reborning the Mirror Jade, and then we get fused with either field. Using the Mirror Jade and the Borland to make our Dragos Stapelia. Dissipator has not activated yet. Lost is activating. Now, if the banishment was on Chainlink 1, which it was, you could activate Dissipator in response to its own summon, because the Lost is protecting it from being chained to negate the Dissipator, and Dissipator can't do anything. Very well done. This was the moment to do it. And now it's permanently negated as long as Dragos Stapelia is on the field. Tragedy recycling that banishment. Banishment is just so powerful. Triggering the regain to return back the Tragedy to draw 1. Albaz discard a card to fuse with the Dissipator. Reborning a Bestial from the grave in response to the Albaz. Come forth, and now we are fusing into Mirror Jade is back. Non-target monster banished. Not quite lethal damage, so we do not banish right here. But backed up with banishment, we have so much here. Non-target monster banished, monster negate, banishment, reborn from the graveyard, and then fuse with either field. Lost could search for a Mercurier if we still have one. I think we generally play 2, and we have 2 in the graveyard, so that's not going to be extra disruption. Food Sector launching Recharger and Caliber from the graveyard, making us want to use our banishment, called by the grave, banishing the Quem here. Quem is not reborning, then turning into a fusion on either side of the field. And I do commend the branded players today for seemingly not playing Puppet. I have not seen Puppet at all. We now have Borreload Savage Dragon. It's not a negate yet until it equips the link. That is the opportunity to negate with Dragos Stapelia or banish with the Mirror Jade. Be gone. Now, what do we have left? We in our extra deck with the Rocket Tracer play. We maybe want to be trying to climb into an Access Code Talker, but the Dragos Stapelia would be negating the Access Code Talkers, so we need to summon the Chaos Ruler, wiping it out first, and now we may want to be opting for some sort of disruption. Maybe if we did not activate the Rocket Tracer yet, we can make a Heretic Seal. Heretic Seal will be disruption. Our other disruption will be Masquerina. No, Masquerina is not disruption since we don't have Unicorn anymore. We are reborning our Borland, so if you have a way to destroy your monster, or you could use the Dissipator to reborn it, that is actually nuts. That's going to be a good way to do it. So what you want to do is you make a Striker Dragon, pop itself, add the Recharger, reborn the Borland, or just Dissipator, reborn it, and you have regained reborning cards like Dissipator. That is what's absolutely insane. Recharger was the one to reborn it, though. Get negated. Negate the sprint. Yeah, both decks have become a lot crazier, and the Mirror Jade is permanently negated. Triggering the regain, summoning the Serenir, tributing our spheres, return back the monster, come forth and summon from the deck. Cartesia will be a free special summon. Dissipator's not negating, because I could destroy you instead. Returning back our banished card, recycling our Borreload. We just killing ourselves. Activate to wipe out the field, but the Borland cannot be destroyed. Cartesia, add back. Wipe out Dissipator and all the other Bestials here as we thin out the deck, sending a Druid Swarm to then add it from the graveyard to the hand. 1,700 life, and that is it. Lethal damage. 2-0. It's the third time Dragon Link is defeating Branded. I have not seen Branded beat Dragon Link at all today out of the 3 matches we have witnessed. Now, just because a deck is winning consistently in this matchup, it does not make it a better deck overall. Branded could have better matches against other decks and could possibly overall be a better deck, and this could just be a bad matchup. Is that Copium, or is Dragon Link just straight up better? Thank you for watching the top 16. We'll be advancing into the top 8 in the next video, starting off with Stun versus Dragon Link. You do not want to miss it. Thank you very much. We are out.